We're going to have Piet Mondrian be the inspiration for our art today. We're going to want a pencil, an eraser, and then a variety of primary colored tools and blacks. And I also have some paints over there. In the corner, I've got an example of Piet Mondrian. We're going to start with a parallel line. All of our lines will be parallel or perpendicular to one another. All right, I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to draw my parallel line. And I find I don't like it. It's not quite so straight. So look what I'm going to pull out. I'm going to pull out a ruler. Again, I'm looking when I put my ruler down to make sure that the amount of space was even, top to bottom, to make sure it's parallel. If I don't have a ruler, I'm just going to pull some sort of piece of paper. I was working on Mabel here recently, and that's an extra piece of paper I don't need, so I'm going to fold it in half once. And I'm going to fold it in half again. And what that's going to do, it's going to make a nice strong edge for me. So if I don't have actually a wooden ruler or a steel ruler, I can create one with just a piece of paper by folding it. I'm going to take this and I am again going to make it parallel to the paper, making sure it's even all the way across, and perpendicular to the other line I already drew. Kind of reminds me of a T there. Now I'm going to pick a letter from the alphabet that would be parallel, perpendicular. I think I'll do an H. So here I go. I'm going to do the first line of the H again, making sure my ruler was parallel. I'm going to do the middle bar. It can't be at a diagonal. It has to be straight across so that it's parallel with my paper. There's that middle bar of my H. Notice how all my lines are connecting and ending. All right, now I'm going to pick another letter. I think this time I will go for an F. I'm going to put it on the edge of paper again. Can't have it diagonal. Has to be parallel. I'm going to do the top line of the F. Again, double checking before I draw. Yes, it was straight. And then the middle line. Notice how I'm going to make it go all the way to the edge of the paper. All right, so I have an H. I have an F. What other letter? Oh, I think I'll go to the corner. It seems kind of empty. I think I'll do a backwards uppercase L. Again, I don't have to use a straight edge every time. If I feel I can draw a straight line, I'll just use my hand and just draw a straight line. All right, now it's time to thicken in some of these lines. I have a variety of tools. I think this time I will use my oil pastel. I don't have crayons, but that could be a crayon instead. I've got a marker. I'm going to do a marker. And I find it's kind of harder with this long line to draw a straight line. So if I want to straighten that out a little bit, I'm going to go pull that straight edge that I created by folding, and I will just use the edge to draw my straight line. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll make it thicker, and then I will just fill it in. All right. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to do the horizontal line of the H using my marker. I'm going to try a different tool. I'm going to try my black colored pencil. I'd like some lines to be thinner and some lines to be thicker, so I think I'll try my black colored pencil. The goal of this project is to try out different mediums to work with. I'm going to use this pen. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to use this pen. And as I'm drawing it, oh no, here's what I've realized. This is actually blue. Oop, oh well. Not a big deal. I can have blues in this painting, or this drawing, I guess I'd call it. What else do I want to use? I'm going to go back and use that marker some more. I'm just going to go over that blue and make sure it's black. Now what I want to do is I want to make some of these lines thicker. I want a variety. I want some thin lines. I want some thick lines. So what I do on those is I actually make a border and then fill it in. Look, I work like a lawnmower there. Nice straight long lines. With this line down here also thicker. So I built kind of a border, and now I'm going to go fill that in. Nice and carefully. Nice straight strokes. I'm not scribbling. I did speed up this video. I can't really draw that fast. Alright, what else am I going to do? I'm going to take back my oil pastel and fill this one in a little bit darker. I'm using oil pastel. Maybe you'll use a crayon, because I think I'm going to try to use some watercolor on this, and that'll help keep the watercolor in place. Now it's time to add in some color. In the samples there was colors in Piet Mondrian's piece. So I think I'll do one section of red. Again, I take my time when filling in nice long lines, not scribbling. I'm going to turn my marker on the side to get something thicker. I'm going to use my oil pastel for some area. Again, I want you to try out different types of mediums. So I have the markers and the oil pastels and color pencils. Now I'm going to pull out some watercolor. I've got 2 containers, so I can have one container so I can do for my dirty brush, and then a clean water to make sure I always have a clean brush when going inside of my watercolor palette. I check my brush, make sure it's clean. Now I'm going to dip it into the water again, and I think I'll do some blue, checking to make sure it is blue and nice and clean. It is. I'm going to get some more. And I could do that area up there. That's oil pastel. Or I think I'll come down here and fill in this box that has oil pastel around it. It'll help to hold my watercolor in. That's why I'm choosing this box. If I want to switch colors, I'm going to go to the dirty water container first, rinse it off. Notice how my water changed blue. I'll wipe it on that paper I said. I could have had a towel or something, have a piece of paper, and then use my clean water. Now I think I'll do another area of yellow. So I had done my oil pastel yellow before. Now I'm going to use a watercolor yellow. I'm going to do that little box in the corner because that also was done with oil pastels. That'll hold my colors in. If I need to reload paint, I can't just go back into the water. I have to rinse it off in the dirty water first, brush it off to make sure the color's off, then go into the clean water and make sure my brush is clean. It keeps my paints nice and neat. I think I'm going to give it one more coat of yellow to make sure it's nice and a thick coat of yellow. I'll rinse that brush off again in the dirty water container. And then I think I'm going to use some of this black watercolor. Again, I had to check my brush, go back to the clean water. I'm going to go over, get some of my black. I'm thinking I'm going to go over one of my lines and make it thicker using my black watercolor. And then, uh-oh, I didn't check first. Look, it's actually brown. Okay, I guess what I'll do is I'll take my oil pastel and I will make that line thicker. When I use my ruler, I get oil pastel in it. That's why I switched to my paper straight edge. Now, since we've been using paper for the past 2 weeks, maybe you want to try some paper in this project. So I made a couple of squares, one blue, one red. Remember, we're using primary colors and neutrals in this project. And I'm just going to choose to glue those down. I know you see green. That's the back side of that paper. I am going to stick to the primaries. So the primary color of red, and then I'll do the blue. I like to have a glue paper down. Notice how this time I'm going to put the glue on my glue paper and then put it down. I also like black surrounding all of my shapes that I put shapes on. So I'm going to take my oil pastel and go around the outside with black. This side's looking a little empty to me, and so what I'd like to do is just break it up. Maybe I think I'll use my oil pastel and draw one more horizontal short line. There, it broke it up just a little bit more. I could have threw more color in there if I wanted to. Remember, there is only one Piet Mondrian, and there's only one of you. We're using his work as an inspiration. What you create today might inspire somebody else tomorrow. Have